Okay, we're pulling our float back down to the bottom to give our cameraman a point of reference so we can see if I am as close as I think I am. Perfect little spot, this one, for having a bait on. A little bit of weed, a little bit of soft sand on the bottom. Absolutely perfect for placing the bait. You can see if I'm in the middle of that spot, away from the weed, I want my cast to be dropping exactly below the marker float, and that's why this is so important, this section, so you can see just how close I am. Now there's the float, and we see a fair way away from it. It's got to be 3, 4, maybe 5 feet back towards the bank is the pop-up. We're using a bright pop-up straight off the lead just so we can see the difference between the two. And you can see there we've just hooked under the line there, coming off the marker float. The hair's just hooked under that line. And that's got to be a good 4 or 5 feet short. And that cast actually landed just behind the marker float. Right, let's have a look how close that is to the marker. It looks pretty close to me, only a foot or so away, but where has it dropped on the bottom? That's better. That's the sort of casting that you want to be doing. If you're spodding and you're hitting the marker float with the spod every time, that's how close you want to be. I'm a couple of feet maximum off to the left of the float and at almost exactly the same distance. So you can see there, it's landed just behind the marker float, dropped back like a pendulum, and as we can see from the underwater footage, it's landed really, really close to the lead. So you need to make sure that you're just a little bit past the marker float when you're casting in this sort of depth of water, 4 or 5 foot. In deeper water, I think you're going to have to go further past it. So we're going to go into deeper water now and do the same thing. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to cast the rig out into deeper water. Instead of actually leaving a hook link on it, I've put a marker float on it this time so it's easier to see on the bottom. And I'm going to get that as close as I think it needs to be, and then we're going to go and have a look on the bottom and see just how close I get it. Okay, I think that's about right. Let's have a look on the bottom. Not too far away at all. You can see the 2 marker floats pretty close together. Dropped a little bit short, maybe a couple of feet. So that was pretty good. I've got the 2 pretty close together and I'll be more than happy with that in a fishing situation. What we've done this for is to illustrate that the deeper the water, the further past the marker float you have to cast. So in the other spot where it was only 4 foot deep, a couple of feet past was enough to get it very, very close. 6 feet deep needs to be about another foot past. So the deeper the water, the further past you have to go. And what I think is it's probably about half the distance past the float to the depth of the water. So if it's 12 foot deep, you want to be about 6 foot past the float.